think I started the stream. Hello. Boom. Okay. This is the first time that I'm doing a stream, guys. What the heck is this? Tuki. So you're going to see me setting up everything right now in order to start working on this scene. Now, let me loop this until I make sure everything is working. Can you see my screen? I hope so. I put my OBS around here. Cool. So, hello. Let's see, what can I do here? Tuki. Awesome, excelente. Estado de emisión, estadística. Cool. So, what I'm going to do right now is animate this in. And yeah, I'm going to use this streaming thing more as a type of accountability thing, so I can just stay here and finish the scene. So yeah, it's like in some way I'm going to use these streams as a way of making myself accountable of the amount of work that I have to do at this moment and trying to progress on the scenes as much as possible. Cool. Awesome. And well, if anyone is going to watch this or is watching this, leave your comments if you have any questions, or if you just wanted to chat while I work, feel free to do so too. Cool. I think I'm going to start. I hope everything is going well. Let me call some friends if they can join, and let me know if this is working. Otherwise, I'll be talking nothing. Who can I call? Oh yeah, Jorge Castillo. Wait a second, I'm going to call a friend right now. Hey dude. Hey dude. Say hi.
Pero pon tu cámara, pues.
Oh. Say hi. You're in a stream in YouTube right now, Mr. Jorge.
How are you guys?
I need your help, Uncle George.
Tell me.
Can you go to my YouTube channel and let me know if my audio is working?
Let me see.
Yep. So, esta es la primera vez que voy a estar streameando en esta hueva.
¿Y dónde puedo ver que estás streamando en vivo?
Entra a mi canal de YouTube
¿Ya?
y ahí te va a aparecer el último video, algún video que estoy streameando.
En vivo, dice.
En vivo, dice.
¿Y dónde estoy yo? Oh, qué loco.
Estás viendo un loop masivo en tu pantalla.
Te lo juro.
O sea, sí se escucha.
No, o sea, ahorita no lo puedo escuchar porque estoy en llamada.
Chucha. A ver, te cuelgo y te llamo.
Ya.
Yeah, bye. So that was my friend Jorge. I met Jorge on college when I was studying graphic design before studying animation back in 2019. And yeah, he's an awakened person. You have the third eye opened. So when I talk with him, the world just stops going around just to listen what the fuck we're saying between each other. And yeah, fuerte y claro, perfecto. Wait a second. Tercer ojo. Habla, tercer ojo. All good?
Sí, señor.
Perfecto. Oye, Roto, ¿cómo vas? ¿Todo bien?
Excelente, la verdad.
Ningún llamado de emergencia, entonces, baby.
No.
Todo tranqui.
Tranquilo.
Cool. Ahorita voy a grabar un videito. ¿Sabes qué deberíamos hacer? En todos estos streams, tú conectarte conmigo y hablar de la vida mientras animo aquí estas huevadas. Sí,
Fuera bien bacana, ¿verdad? Para que
sería bello. Pero bueno, roto.
te ves como un animador así, te ves como un agente de oficina.
Como un agente de oficina, o sea, no me veo como un artista.
No, no, sí, de hecho eso es lo que estaba buscando. Te ves como un creativo, así, te ves como un abogado, te ves como un catador de vinos, te ves
Como,
como
como
no sé,
executive producer.
eso.
¿Ya te viste de estudio, amor?
No, no todavía.
Mírate de estudio. Hazme caso.
Vamos a
Hazme
ver.
caso. Así como yo me vi las 5 de Harry Potter, tú mírate de estudio.
Sí, te lo juro. Yo lo voy a ver Barry, que no sé por qué, bro, pero hoy también estuve pensando en Barry de mañana.
Ya te la verga. Pero bueno, estudio es prioridad. Pilas por roto. Dile chao aquí a ti mismo que te estás viendo. Bye bye. Bye, roto. Beep, beep. So that was Mr. George. Now let's time to animate. My stream is going well. I trust him. So, nothing else to say. Time to work. Let me put some music, because if I animate without music, I go crazy. I go crazy. So the other day, I was talking with a coach of mine, and I shared with him. He's like, dude, I feel like my brain is totally fucked up. I think like I fucking screw up my brain. Yo, what up, Robo Live Music? I think I totally screwed up my brain last year, because last year I started recording content and posting content, and of course I have those apps on my phone the entire day. And yeah, after scrolling for many hours, dude, I felt so dumb after 1 year. And I told him, like, dude, what advice will you give me in order to recover my brain in some way? We were talking in that woo-woo sense, but he was like, dude, you know that addiction doesn't come from doing or being exposed to something specifically, but it comes from actually not having anything else to do, like being alone in some way. Like, for example, he goes to the gym, he was working, he's always doing the stuff. So he's like, I'm not getting lost in scrolling or doing these dumb scroll type of things. He's actually busy, so he doesn't have time to work, to scroll. So he told me, like, dude, write down exactly what you have to do every day, each hour, and you will see that it doesn't make sense that you will have time to scroll. So if you actually have clarity in what you have to do every day, then you will solve that issue. And he was sharing with me this example of a rat that they put like cocaine or some drugs next to the rat in this jail. And there were two examples when the rat was surrounded with more rats, and the other example when the rat was alone. When the rat was alone, they leave these drugs there. The rat was consuming these drugs, but the rats that were like surrounded with more rats, they still have the drugs there, but didn't go there to start consuming those drugs. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And he was like, yeah, here's the video. Look, watch this. He sent me the link, but I never watched the actual thing. But I'm sharing what he shared with me. And now that's the reason I'm doing these streams, because I used to pre-record this stuff and then editing, coming up with the title, even coming up with an intro. But it was I was just wasting a lot of time that I can actually use into animating and progressing on this short film. So let's start working on this short film, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments and I'll be happy to respond. Cool. So this is also my first stream, so if something goes to shit, just let me know, please. Cool. Awesome. Let's go. So I have this three-headed mutant chihuahua here. Chihuahua, I'm talking shit. I'm having this evil giant air fryer, and it's going to do these crazy motions. And I did this traditional animation. Look at that. Boom, 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 all in pencil. And what I have to do right now is put the rig on top, because I don't want to spend time cleaning up and coloring all of this. So I'm working with rigs in Toon Boom Harmony, and then I just have to trace on top of what I have on my rough beds. And that's the cool thing about training yourself to be a traditional artist, to know the skills needed to become a pro animator, which are like very, very strong drawing skills and animation skills. And then you can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter the medium that you're using. For example, right now I'm using Toon Boom. I'm using rig animation, and I can totally okay, I forgot. You see, my brain is fucking screw up. Cool, let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm going frame by frame. I'm approaching this a little bit of a straight ahead animation. I'm going to focus on one arm and then on the other one, and then I have crazy stuff happening here. So bam, let's focus on this one over here. I'm going to focus on each one over here, and yeah, if you're using Toon Boom, just try to observe, if you want, what I do here, which is reusing frames, working on specific frames. For example, on the key first. This over here is one important frame. This is another important frame. Then all of these are in betweens. So boom, here we go to this other keyframe here. So I'm going to right click and mark this with red. I'm going to get rid of all of these frames in the middle. And I'm using my special Toon Boom shortcuts to flip like crazy really fast, because I don't want to waste any time. And that's something also that I learned from my brother that have nothing to do with animation, but he told me like, Henry, you should be animating super fast, like if you were Call of Duty. Like when you are playing Call of Duty, you're not looking at the DualShock. You're just focusing on playing. And that's something that really resonated with me, and since then I've been putting a lot of attention into the shortcuts that I use to speed up my workflow. So I come up with amazing shortcuts that I actually steal those from my arcane mentor and many other mentors that I learned from. And then I come up with the cool Call of Duty shortcuts that I can use to animate really fast. So, bam, hand like this, Tuki, and this is going like this. The idea of this arm is that it's going to be like, bam. It's like, bam, and that's something that I have to achieve with my rig. So we're going far away. So it's like this, bam. How is it these turning lines should work? In which direction these turning lines should look? And it should look in this way. So I have to turn this. I'm pressing 4 and flipping these lines to key and move them. Oh, I hope you're not listening to the music that I'm listening to. Otherwise, copyright. Boom, bing. And then I'm going to duplicate this hand, because these are actually drawings. And what I'm going to do is wait. What I'm going to do is move this towards the back. It's modifying the drawing itself. Cool. It's modifying the drawing itself instead of rigging this part. So I'm going to transfer the properties from the liner to the color art, pressing here at this bottom. Then I'm going to color pick each one of these parts of the hand and replace the colors. Awesome. And then I'm going to move this hand like away. And then I'm going to move this into something like this. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm making sure in the render view how this is looking at the moment, because I have to put more attention on the keys. I have to spend more time on the keys and making sure everything is working properly. So when I start doing the in-betweens, I can reuse this part of I can reuse the key poses without having to pose again all of these parts. And that is something that speeds up my workflow a lot. But at the same time, I have to stay here on the key poses for a little bit. Cool. Bam. Something like that. Tuki. So I have my key pose. Let me color this with red. Mark frame red. Pookie. And then I have this one that is looking towards the front. Mark frame red. Awesome. And look at this. I'm going to share something really fast with you. And is that, look at this 3D form that I drew here. And this is actually something like this. Tuki, you see? But because I like this flat style that I'm working with right now, I avoid drawing this line over here, and still it feels like a 3D shape, but in reality it's this shape. But because I'm aware of this line over here and I move all of these parts to create that sense of 3D-ness, then it works. Tricks and tricks. Cool. Boom, boom. Then we go back. And then we go towards the front. Blam. So I'm going to copy this frame over here, taka. But now I notice here something really cool. And is that this hand will be bigger. So I'm going to create a new drawing. And I'm going to hide all of these drawing substitutions. That's how we call it here in Toon Boom. I'm going to hide all of these drawings in the middle of the movement. And really, how is that possible? Yeah, everything is an illusion. Everything is a trick. So that's my duty here, making you believe this is real, making you believe this is alive. Boom, boom. And then I'm going to move this that way. Does it looks good? It's not bad. And then we move this here. We get rid of this. Taka taka. Bam! Now I'm going to do something because my designer eye is telling me, Henry, I cannot find the flow of that thing that you just drew there. And I'm like, oh no. So I'm going to do something here is that I'm going to grab this and start doing some draw overs on top, because everything changes when you start putting your drawing skills on top of your work. Here, bam. Something like this, cool, and I'm aware of this line here that I'm not going to draw. Now here I want to one line this base of this part of the finger. Then we have something like this here. Maybe let's move this way. What the heck is this? My Apple Care is expiring. Boom, boom, boom. You know, like our head is kidnapped. Well, I can totally put that in silent mode, but I don't want to put my phone in silent mode right now. But yeah. Our attention is kidnapped. Or we allow our attention to be kidnapped, wherever you want to, however you want to see it. Bam. Bam. So yeah, I feel this is better than the thing that I did there. I want to make this straight. Awesome, that will work. So what I'm going to do now is leave that frame there. I'm going to go back to this thing here, and I'm going to trace on top of the draw over that I did. Cool. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm burping. Bam, there you go. Oopsie. And then we have these over here, a little bit here to keep. And then this one over here to keep. Now I have to grab this shit, put it here to keep. Awesome. Ah, carajo. There you go. Yeah, and then we move this a little bit over here to key. Awesome. And then we move this here to key. And then I grab this, boom, and move here, pop up, oopsie, and then I flip. I was going to say, like, you see, and I'm not even looking at my keyboard, but every time that I say that on the videos, immediately something happened on my screen that I have to look back at my keyboard, so. I'm not self-sabotaging myself right now. Tuki. Awesome. And there you go, something like this, aligning this, Tuki. Awesome. And then we're going like this. Color, and move all of this towards one side, and then I'm going to transfer the line art properties to the color art. I'm going to color pick this to keep, boom, and then I'm going to color pick this, taka taka, awesome, and then I'm going to grab all of this to get rid of that, boom, awesome, we have that key, pam 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 pam. Let me get rid of this draw over that I did here, turn on the render view to look if everything is working properly. For example, here we're having some things messing up with me. So I'm going here, rough pass. Let me disable this so I can clean this frame. Look at that awfulness. Tuki. Oopa. Tuki. Then we go like this. Beautiful. Now I think I'm missing one line on that arm, or no? Yeah, there's supposed to be 3 lines. Supposed to be 3 lines. So I'm going to select the group of all of these lines. Get out of here. La concha tu madre. There you go. Bam, bam, bam. So I'm going to come here, copy paste. Where's the other line? Here. Copy. No. Something like this. Tuki. Awesome. And where's this line now? So this is the middle line. I want to track this properly. So this is going to be from that way to that way. This is going to be this baseline here. Tuki tuki. I need to make this more rounded. So I'm going to move this way. Awesome. Yo. And then I'm going to grab this one over here and move it like this. Tuki. Awesome. Three lines. Fucking 3 lines. Where's the other one? Here. So I'm going to move it here. Awesome. 4 to flip it. Move it around here. Tuki. Good. Move this. What the heck? Just save. Move this here. Move this here. Move this here. Awesome. Now I think I have to rotate this a little bit over here. Cool. Now let's bring back the rough pass. Look at that. Bam, 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 bam. Now let's in between all of this stuff. I'm going inside of this master pack of the arm. Let me even change the color here for your eyes to be easy to see. Look at that. Pam, 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 pam. Now the only thing that I have to do is add the in-betweens in the middle. Not a big deal. So boom, boom, boom. For example, this is the formula. This is the way of thinking for animation. Let me invite some people here. So I'm going to drop some cool stuff for you. Now you know what? Let's keep it low key. This one. It's only for you and me. Tuki. No distractions, dude. What the heck I'm doing with my phone? Okay, let's go. Boom, boom. So every time that we're animating, this is like the formula. We have a key pose, or we have a key pose and breakdown. To change the directions, we always need a slow out from the pose that we are, and a slow in towards the pose that we are going to. It's like cushion in, cushion out. It's like we need to cushion out from the pose that we are, and we need to cushion in to the pose that we are going to. That's the rule of thumb. So, and in the middle of that slow out and slow in, of course, we're going to have an in-between. So, for example, here, I'm going to this frame, and I only have a gap of 2 frames here between these 2 ones over here. So guess what I'm going to add? I'm going to add a slow out from this frame, and I'm going to slow in from this frame. So I'm going to copy this frame here, Tuki, and I'm going to move it a little bit. I'm going to move this a little bit. Tuki. Boom. So it actually goes further away from camera. Tuku. Something like that. I can start moving something like this. Slowing out. A homeless is walking outside. Then we go like this. Tuki. And then we slow out from here. Boomba. And here, boom. Actually, instead of the elbow going up, I want the elbow to go down. So it's dragging like this instead of like this. And that's something that I correct myself, because that's something that I already thought about. That's something that I added in my rough pass. So I don't have to actually go against my rough pass. This is a moment that I have to go just in autopilot mode and just follow what my rough pass have. But I also have to be in a technician mode where I have to look at all of these little things and making sure that everything is working properly. the esquizofrénico. I think, who is that? I think I know who is that. And I think it's Uncle George again. Boom, boom, boom. We go like that. We go like that. Tuki, 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 and then we go like here. Pumba. And our homeless is walking out. Boom, boom, and then I grab this tuki, paste it here, and then grab this, go inside, paste it here. You see how I'm not looking at my keyboard? Because this is like playing Call of Duty. It's like you have to be fast, fast, fast. We have a life to live. We cannot be animating all day long. Bam! Look, I start looking at my keyboard. Boom, 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 boom. Toom, toom, and then we go here, bam, and then I'm going to copy and paste this frame over here to here. So we have boom, boom, boom. I'm going to grab all of this and move this down. And that's why I'm working first on my key poses, because as I am showing right now, I'm going to reuse all of this stuff. Boom, and then I can grab this, I can grab this and move it here. Awesome. And then I can flip, always flip, always flip, always flip. If you're not flipping, dude, I don't know what to tell you, dude. If you're not flipping, dude, you are not animating. What? Yeah. And I used to make that mistake when I was first starting. I was afraid of flipping. I was like, flipping? No way, I need to play the animation in order to see what is going on. But the secret is on flipping, because flipping allows you to see like a playback of your animation before even pressing play. And the advantage of doing that is that you develop your eye, you develop your sense of movement. But the people don't flip, they never develop their eye. And I feel like everything that we do have a bigger purpose than the thing that we think we're doing at its moment. Like, for example, if you want to become a soccer player, it's not that you are going to become a soccer player to just win championships, but you're becoming a soccer player because you also love the challenges that becoming a soccer player means to have. And as a consequence of accepting those challenges, you become a different person. And becoming that different person is the genuine pursuit of whatever we're pursuing, because you're accepting the Henry Papá. ¿Qué hay, Fernando? ¿Cómo vas? Bienvenido. Boom, boom, boom. We're animating here a giant evil air fryer. Boom. And then pook, 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 pook. Here, for example, instead of going back, we're going towards the front. Bam, bam. Look at this. Look at this corner over here. Look at this corner over here. And this is what I like to call an invisible wall. It's when it's like una pared invisible. It's like an invisible wall. It's when things get stuck on a specific place. Imagine I'm holding here this little corner over here. I'm holding this. When I'm flipping, I can see where these points of the animation are getting stuck in this invisible wall, or like if someone is holding the thing. And that is going to give me a spacing issue. So easy fix. Boom, 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 boom. Cool? And now another thing that I have to look at is the arc that this part of the hand is creating. So, for example, let me create a new frame here. F5, boom, I close everything. Come on, F5. There you go. And then we go here. But we have this shape. It's all about shapes. Animation is being able to observe and move shapes in space. Boomba, tuki. There you go. Boom. Beautiful. Look at that shape. Now look at how this shape moves in space. Boop, boop, boop. And now let's look at this one over here. Black. Now let's look at this one over here. Black. So here, between these two frames, is giving me something a little bit weird. So I'm going to change colors here. So what I have here, yeah, the hand is moving away in perspective. Love el dominio de both lenguas. Ya sabe, pana. Es un capo aquí. So, boom. So, boom. We go from here to here. We go from here to here. So, in some way, I need to make this flow in this way. Like, everything is flowing beautifully like this instead of like crack, 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 crack. Cool. I hope those sounds made any sense. And what I'm going to do now is just draw those things here on top and trying to find out a beautiful shape that is going to create this arc. So arcs creates a shape. What? Yes, arcs creates a shape. And if you follow that arc, if you create those shapes with your arcs, if with your arcs you create those shapes, your animation will flow very smoothly. Look at there, for example. Let's try to change this into something like this. And I'm only skewing and moving this stuff like that. Arc riders mentioned. No way. So my friend Jorge is trying to convince me to play this game called Arc Riders for a while. But yeah, I'm the worst friend, so I never I never follow recommendations. But yeah, I might have to, because at the end of the day, life is to have fun. Because if life is a video game, then what is the main purpose of a video game? Is to have fun. But if you're playing a video game and you're stressing playing a video game, it's like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you playing a video game? And someone will tell you very easily, like, dude, just stop playing the fucking game, and you will stop playing the game and stop being stressed. Now imagine that in animation, dude. Now imagine that thing in animation. Imagine you're getting stressed in animation, and someone tells you, just stop doing animation. It's like, what the heck you're talking about? I want to make a living out of this. Yeah, but you're supposed to have fun. Not necessarily because I want to be pro. No, dude. We're in a game. You are supposed to have fun. God, philosophical over here. So that's the idea. Puki, puki, puku, puku. See, and I'm tracking this corner here, tuki, 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 with that line at the top. Boom, beautiful flow there. And then we go back, slow out, slow in, keyframe, and that's what's up, my friend. That's my schizophrenic friend, Puck. And then we jump towards the front. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab this again, Tuki. I'm going to grab this arm, and I'm going to grab this frame over here, paste it here, and I'm going to move this frame slightly, something like this, Tuki. I'm going to move this frame this way, so it's creating an arc moving forward. And then what I'm going to do is connect the arm. So I'm going to grab this, tuki, 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 awesome, boom. And then we go and fix this design. Awesome. Some wise words are always welcome. Yeah, thank you, dude. I always talk about this stuff with my friend Jorge, which is the schizophrenico there. And yeah, it's important to talk about this stuff, because otherwise we're just living in autopilot, thinking that we don't have control over our life, but we do have more control than we think we have. This is also another good conversation that I have with my friend Jorge. Is that he asked me once, and this is a question that I love, that I also ask myself, and is that, dude, do you think if you want to become like an Olympic sport, dude, do you believe that you can become like a professional Olympic sports dude if you want to? And I'm like, yeah, of course, if I believe that, if I want to achieve that, of course I can. And he told me like, yeah, that's it. That's exactly how this stuff works. And this is exactly how this stuff works. It's like, if life have levels, the first level to unlock is belief. And once you unlock belief, it's like a new map opens up to you. And this map of actually knowing that you can do whatever you want. And the doors will start opening for you. Bam! Look at that. Bam! Now, if I just stay here with what Tumbo gave me, look at this straight arc over here. So I'm going to grab the arm, Tuki, so hungry, and move it down. Move it down a little bit, so it creates, boom, an arc forward. Bam, an arc rider forward. So yeah, once you unlock belief, once you and look at this. This is an important thing because unlocking belief is the first enemy in this video game that we're playing. It's the first thing to unlock in order to start achieving whatever you want to achieve in life. And it's the first enemy, and it's one of the hardest to win against, of because through our entire childhood we've been pushed by this enemy to be blind. It's like since unconsciously even our parents is like, no, you cannot do this, no, maybe you cannot do this, or the teachers is like, why you're so bad in math, why you're so bad in you're so bad on this, or the classmates when maybe you have people that in your same class laugh at you because you were not good at something specific. It's like you start putting yourself inside of a box full of limiting beliefs that you cannot go through, that you cannot just expand out of it, and you carry that box through all your life until the moment that you realize that it is called imposter syndrome. Exactly. Yes. Until you actually believe that, you know what, you can actually do whatever you want, and then, dude, you're out of that box. El famoso autosabotaje. Y sí. I changed to Spanish right now. Y sí, man, o sea. Dude, and the thing is like, that voice is not even real. Esa voz ni siquiera es real. Es una voz que había veces, y cuando le pones cara a esa voz, when you put a face into that voice, you realize like, oh shit, that is not even my voice. That voice was implanted in my head by someone else. And cuando tú le pones una cara a esa voz, te das cuenta de que esa voz ni siquiera es tuya, y alguien la puso ahí en momentos tempranos de tu vida, en tu cabeza, y ahora es como que, fuck, te la has creído durante mucho tiempo que es tuya. But no, dude, you actually can achieve whatever and anything that you want. Boom, boom, boom. And as my friend Jorge is saying, it's like auto-sabotaje. And you know what? Because we talk with words, it's super difficult to make someone else understand this side of reality. And we use words that other people can understand, but those words cannot open the doors to be able to experience that dimension. And for example, when someone say auto-sabotaje, when they say like self-sabotage yourself, it's like they start trying to connect these words with things that they know in this dimension, but they cannot connect to the real meaning that we want to communicate. So that's why using these games analogy helps a lot, because it allows you to not telling you exactly what is the issue that you have, but experiencing how it actually feels for all of us, because we are all playing in this game. Bam! And I remember I have a good friend of mine, dude. I had a good friend of mine, and this dude made a lot of crazy stuff. Like, this dude was an editor. He lived in Ecuador. He used to live in Ecuador. He studied with me, and then he moved to Argentina, and then he was able to move to Spain, to España. And dude, this dude once told me like, Henry, can you believe this? And I'm going to say it in Spanish. Y me dijo, Henry, ¿puedes creer esto? Mi mamá me dijo que tengo sueños muy grandes para ser yo, para mí mismo. ¿Cómo puedes creer que una madre me pueda decir eso? Y yo me quedé, ¿qué hijo de puta? And I'm going to say it in English right now. And it's like, this friend told me like, my mom told me like, I have dreams too big for myself. It's like, for you, like, your dreams are too big. And he was like, can you believe like a mom told me that? I mean, like, my mom told me that? How can you believe like a mom can say that to someone else, like to someone else? What's up? I'm so distracted, dude. so dude, like, imagine a mom telling that to a son, and then you believe that? Gladly, dude, gladly this friend of mine didn't believe that thing that his own mom told to him. And he was able to move from Ecuador, stop earning the average salary in Ecuador, which is like $400, $600. And he was able to make more money, freelance online, move to Argentina, then move to Spain. And dude, yeah, it's crazy. And these persons are not trying to do that in a bad way, like trying to make you feel bad. They are just trying to protect you sometimes, but that's the better they know. That's the better they can do. And sometimes it's not needed. It's not needed. But all of those things are obstacles just in the way of of becoming who we want to become. And if we are able to observe those obstacles, then we're able to go through and learn and improve. But if we're not, dude, we are going to get stuck in that moment forever. And and I feel weird saying this because my friend Jorge is here, and he's like my therapist in some point, and he knows how bad I get stuck into past situations that I cannot go fast, that I cannot go through really fast. But yeah, in some others I have like a rough skin. For some other events I'm not, but everything is an opportunity to learn. Everything is an opportunity to improve. Look at that! I need a new hand over there. How long is this video? 40 minutes. 40 minutes, and I haven't finished animating this arm. Okay, this is the issue. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, stop talking about this game stuff. And I want to record this video because I want to share all of this stuff. I don't know if I'm getting burnout or some way because I've been animating straight for too long. But when I am animating alone, I feel like I'm wasting time. I enjoy a lot. I enjoy a lot coming up with ideas, designing characters, creating the stories and all of that. But the technical aspect of animation, dude, I feel like I want to just speed up these presses, or otherwise, if it's going to take some time, at least I want to share it with more people, so this could be of some use for some people, because I learn a lot watching how my mentors work. But otherwise, if I am animating by my own and not sharing this, it's like I feel like I'm wasting the opportunity to share something. Cool. So we have that, and then we go here, and then I need another hand here. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to design this. So I'm going to do something like this, Tuki. Here we have the side plane. Here we have the top line. And if anyone is watching this and they want to ask any questions, feel free to do so I can orient the conversations towards any questions they might have. To keep opening this, and then here I one line all of this to be able to extrude these parts. Boom. Maybe I can open this a little bit more, but I'll do that. I'll do that in a minute. Tuki. And Tuki. Awesome. Beautiful. And I want to move this a little bit down. So I'll have to move the entire arm down. And then I'm going to create a new drawing here. I'm going to use the same pieces, so I'm going to duplicate, get to the line art, move this over here, bam, and then start reusing these things over here, bam. Awesome. Beautiful. Bam. There you go. And the inspiration for this shit was this. I don't have any of these outlets next to me. But that thing that you use to connect cables. Awesome. Bam. Then we go from here. And then we copy these colors. translate, move the line art to the color art, and then start color picking and putting these colors here. Tuki, there you go, awesome. Then I'm going to grab this, bam. Great. A little bit down so I can create a beautiful negative space between this arm and this other one. Awesome. Let's continue animation. Boom, boom. Here I'm going to drag, let me keyframe this. I'm going to drag this. I'm going to move this up. Now let's move the deformers instead. Boop, boop. I also have planned to update the animatic because I'm not happy with some sequence that I have here in this short film, and I might do it on stream and invite some friends to have fun and come up with crazy cool ideas to fix some sequences that I don't like on this short film. And I want to even improve and add some badass animation. I've been watching some stick figure badass animations of these stick figures that are all doing these crazy action movements and just a lot of blood and stuff. And that inspired me to you know what, go crazy on this animation, because if I'm not challenging myself to grow on every project that I'm doing, then I'm just doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff. But I would like to also learn and grow as an artist with every piece that I'm working on. So it will be an amazing opportunity to do so. And I designed this. See how I say? I designed this short film to be, in some way, easy to do and focus more on the characters' development, on the world. Well, I didn't spend too much time on that neither. Tuki, boom. So, shoom, boom. And now here, keyframe. And what I'm going to do is add a new drawing here. Add a new drawing, because you see what I have here on the rough pass? I have a drag. And the only thing that I'm going to do here in order to add that sense of... So when we turn straight lines into curved line like this, we start adding like a feeling of things dragging on our animations. Tuki, oopsie. There you go. Something like this, and you will feel how this feels different, instead of just having this curve straight. And same with this stuff here, and this will push this direction. So it's like all of these lines are pointing towards the place it's going to. It's something like this. All of these lines is favoring the idea of this hand is going up. See? It's like this type of things here. Bam! It's like everything. It's like imagine a pistol throwing these things here, and everything is going that way, and that will make my animation feel super smooth and not stiff by just working with those pieces like that. So I'm going to translate here and color pick, tuki, color pick, la concha, there you go, tuki, and then I'm color picking this, tuki, beautiful, getting rid of this, awesome. And then I'm going to put this here, and then the invisible wall is the invisible wall. It reminds me to the Invisible Man joke. Cool. Bam, 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 bam. And then I'm going to move this a little bit up. Poo. Now these have to go a little bit like that, okay. So I decided to complicate my life on this project. I made a four-arm air fryer. I made a three-headed chihuahua, so it's like I have to animate. Now the chihuahua is like I have to animate 3 characters for each scene. Boom, boom. So let's look. Boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. And then here, this can have a strong slow in, so I'm going to put like a 77, apply. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Cool. And then I can break all of these into twos. Tuki. That thing is dragging that way. Cool, let's see if this is working. Bam, cool. Boom. Aha, something is popping here. Yeah, this arm is going up and down. What is doing? What am I doing in my rough pass? Yeah, I need to in between here. Let me just get rid of all of this. Here it's popping. It's going forward. Here I need to move this a bit lower. Forward, up, down. So here, instead of going up and down, here I can keep moving up a little bit like this. Tuki. And then move this, awesome. And then move this here, awesome. Okay. And then here I can overshoot, so it doesn't feel like it's getting stuck there at the bottom. Boom, overshoot a little bit here. And then going up and moving up, so I settle. Cool, let's see. Cool. Bam. Awesome. I will polish that arm later. Look at where I'm moving the arms when I don't see it. Cool. Let's animate the other arm. And then I have to make this thing like turn like crazy. And I also have to make the penis goes like bam, because this is like an air fryer. When you open an air fryer, this is how where you open the air fryer, but this is an air fryer with underpants. And it's an air fryer with underpants. So when you open also the underpants that are covering this part of the air fryer. Yeah, this is not recognizable at all. That is an air fryer. But that was one of my main mistakes that I regret on this on this short film. Putting more time into the character design so it's actually recognizable. There is an air fryer. But look at that. The numbers on the forehead increases because it's getting hot and angry. So it's like from 21 to 420 Fahrenheit. I don't know if that is a temperature even, but cool. Now, this arm over here. So I'm going to work on this one. We're going to get rid of all of this. I'm so hungry, dude. Okay, poop. So here we have this one here as a key frame, mark frame as red. Awesome. And then we go here to key. Awesome. And then here we need another one, which is going to be the little hand trying to go like cool. So I'm going to get rid of these. Maybe I can do something with this. No. Get rid of this. Yeah, this way. Cool. And then I grab this and then I move it here. Awesome. And then I move it towards the inside. Tuki. And look at what I'm going to do right now. Let me first of all save these frames. Oopsie, let me save these frames. Tuki. I'm going to design a frame here so it looks like a little hand is trying to grow from this hole. So I'm going inside of this drawing, creating a new drawing, press H, and then I'm going to grab the colors. I don't normally work with my window opens, but this time I'm working with my windows open so I can see everyone walking outside. And this city of Vancouver is full of homeless people. So I am seeing every homeless dude that is walking outside my room. Bam. Awesome. And then here we have this. Look at that. Boom. I'm always trying to find patterns, and then I break these patterns into smaller shapes. Something like this. Tuki, tuki, tuki. Tuki, tuki, tuki. And now everything have a harmony between each other, between each piece. And then I can maybe add some lines like this. Tuki. Awesome. Another one. And then I'm going to put this in line art, and then transfer the properties of the line art to the color art. And then I'm going here to the hand color, fingers. Okay, here are the fingers. And I'm going to paint this, and then I'm going to where's the palm? Palm. Boom, colored. And now it looks like a hand that is trying to grow from there. I'm going to focus on the hand, and now I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to follow the rough paths. So this hand is going to grow from here. So the only thing that I need to do is make this smaller, attach it here, maybe flip it so it's looking at that side. Look at that ugly stuff. And I want this to feel so gross that people will be like, ew, Henry, why you animate this kind of stuff? And I'm like, shut up. Boom, boom, boom. Oopsie. There you go. Plant, 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 plant. It's growing. It's growing. Plant, 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 plant. And then, dude, I have closed my drive. I forgot that. And then we go. And then we go here, bigger. We go bigger. I might have to create a new drawing. Yeah, I have to create a new drawing. So duplicate drawing, and what I'm going to do right now is go here, same thing, colors, here to key, and I'm going to make this design this hand here to key, something like this, flipping also, to see how can I relate the drawing from before and drawing from after. Boop, boop, boop. Getting rid of this. This is like cutting hair. It's like you just find patterns that make sense. That's why it's so important, design. If you're a graphic designer, dude, and you want to transition to animation, and if you are a good graphic designer, dude, you're going to have a good time transitioning to animation, because animation is a lot about design too. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. Okay, colors of here, and paint this, and then paint this. And then, boom. I move this one here, I move this one here, tuki, and then I'm going to start animating. I want this to be like, so, boom, and then we're going squash again, tuki, something like this, and then boom. In that movement, we hide that change of the drawing, boom, and we're creating an arc. So back, boom, boom, boom. Cool, awesome. I hope everything is working well still. Cool. So we have this. It's like, but I don't want this to be just like, I want this to be like, boom, going out. So how is that I achieve that feeling? No fucking idea. We are just going to start moving things around until it works. So this up, for example, no, this down, this up, for example, here, like, dude. So it's like, yeah, there you go, la concha tu madre, it worked. Bam, bam, boom, and then boom, we go towards, where is that? Fucking, there you go. We go this one, and we put it here. Now I have to design this frame. But no, you know what? before designing this frame, I will design this frame over here, and then I can reuse this frame over here on the frame that I wanted to design first. What? You see? It's all about logic. It's to develop these problem-solving skills. So like, how is it I can make my life so simple by moving this stuff around? Okay. Bam, bam, bam. Cool. We move this here to key. Then we move this here. Opala. And then we move this here. Tukiting. Tukiting. Awesome. And then we go here. Oopa. There you go. Now, hopefully, I can reuse the same drawing that I did on the other arm. Thank you. Beautiful. I can totally do that. Can squash, squish, stretch, all of this stuff like that. Tuki. There you go. Something like that. Beautiful. There you go. Now I can reuse this arm here and just moving it a little bit down like this. And move this a bit like this, stretch this. Beautiful. And then we create an arc. Always create arcs. So here I'm moving this a little bit more towards the side. Tuki. Let me actually move this. Boom, boom, boom. So I want this to be like boom. Now that's what I wanted. Now I'm going to take all of these dots, move it this way, fix this thing here. Oopa. I thought I heard an insect. Boom. Good. 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 Where are we? Tuki. No. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Now these have to be more closer to camera like this. So now I have to just create an arc. Boom, 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 and then we go back. And then we go down, sorry, down, back, back, and then we go up. And we go like this, Tuki, boom, boom. Arcs, arcs, arcs. Cool. And then we go up. So here, before moving the arm, before in between here, I need to create this frame. Cool. So if anyone have any questions, if there is someone here, feel free to ask, even if it's in Spanish. I can also respond in Spanish. Cool. Now here, in between this arm, arc. Uh-oh. What is happening with this iPad? I hope I still have battery. Tum, 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 tum. Boom. Up. Here I need another hand. I hope I can use the same one that I designed here. Where are you, dude? Yeah. Here you are. Yeah, beautiful. And then we slow in very strongly here. 88. Apply. Boom, 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 boom. More stronger here, like 99. Apply, tuki. Boom, boom. Awesome. And then tugu. Here in this middle part of the movement is where I'm going to drag this frame here so it hides. It's like, imagine I'm moving my hand here. Imagine I have 3 fingers, but in the middle of the movement I do this, tugu, but you didn't notice that I changed to 2. It's like this. And when you do that in your animation, when you hide one drawing in the middle of the movement, is when it's not noticeable. I hope this makes sense. Boom, boom. Look at that. Boom. Awesome. And then here, on this frame in the middle, here, for example, I can reuse the frame that I did here. No, that one, no, that one over there. And I can flip it. So it's going. Where are we going? No, the other way. That way. Beautiful. There you go. Just to add that feeling. It's something that you feel, but it's not something that you see. It's like whoop, zoop, you see, but it's like that subtle is something that helps a lot. Boom. And then here we go to this. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, beautiful animation. The only not too cool thing about all of this is that when you're looking at animation, the magic is not there anymore because you're revealing the tricks, and that's what I'm doing here in these videos. I'm revealing the tricks of animation. So for anyone that is following me, maybe you will not see the magic at the end of, like when I am working on a project, every time that I finish the project, when I see the final result, I'm like, this is not magic at all. But because I saw the entire trick. But when I look at other people's animation, I'm like, oh wow, that's really badass. But I think Animating for them is the same thing. It's like, it's just an animation. But yeah, that happens with my animations. It's like, yeah, I cannot see the magic because I'm behind it. So here I need to add these holes, because for example, okay, I need to add these holes, and before the arm goes out of here, tuki, I want to add some overshoot here. It's like hoop, and then the arm is going to get out. It's like boom, 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 and then we go up again. We go boom, and then boom, the little hand appears out of it. F5, okay. Ha, tagging. What the heck? Where are you, Murph? There you go. Disappearing here? Why are you disappearing, dude? Tuki. And then, yeah, I don't need it from here, so get out of my... There you go. Boom. I need to show this growing also. So I'll make this smaller. And here. There you go. It's like, clack. Okay, I don't need to see it here, so I might get rid of this frame from here. Awesome. Beautiful. Boom. And then what I'm going to do is grab this thing over here. Nodes, duplicate selected nodes only. Move it here, and then what I'm going to do is turn animation. What the fuck? And turn animation off. And turn animation off, and then press 4 to flip towards the other side. Move it, and then I have this base of this other arm here. And now I can move this accordingly. So this I offset the timing. I can offset the timing here. And then we are not seeing any arm here, so get out of here, dude. Awesome. So we can see how this thing grows. And out of there, boom, we have this arm going out of it. Now I am missing some frames here, the same thing that I did with the other arm. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to grab this arm. Where are you, arm? Here. I'm going to grab you. I'm going to copy and paste you where I need you. Here. Copy and paste here. Where the heck are you doing it? Hey. Come, dude. Come here, dude. Get out of here. There you go. Now, I'm going to grab the frame that I designed before. Get rid of the arm. Move out of here. And see, that part is not even properly rigged, but I don't care because it's not a big deal. Like you don't get good animation out of a good because of having a good rig. You get good animation because you're a badass animator. So always remember that. Come on, dude. Tuki. Close. Copy and paste here. And then here we're making this bigger. Same thing that I did on the other side, I'm repeating here. Boom, and then here I can change this drawing with the other one that I did. This one, nice. Welcome to London. Boom. There you go, motherfuckers. Bam. My amazing, dude. Get out of here. Rough pass. Where are you, motherfucker? There you go. Look at that. Bam. And look at that offset between these two arms here, this the lower part. And one is feeling in one way. This one is feeling like, and the other one is feeling like, and that's the idea of all of these animations. Cool. And the package. Now here is popping. Beautiful. Now the pennies. Boing. And look at the idea of this thing that I animated here. Look at this. Display 2. Someone told me like, Henry, you cannot swear on social media. You cannot swear on YouTube. And I'm like, dude, if that will sacrifice some views, yeah, I'm down for it. But imagine. It's because I know that, yeah, you don't need to use insults, but dude, insults, swearing. I don't care, dude. Makes everything more. It's like a sauce. Makes everything more spicy. Makes everything more juicy. In Spanish, dude, I'm like 5 insults per second of animation. Boom, 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 boom. So in English, and in English, it's not the same thing. In English, like saying insulting in English is nothing compared to in Spanish. Like in Spanish, with insults, you can make someone cry and be traumatized forever. But in English, it's chill. Or maybe because it's not my main language, it's like not a big deal. But yeah. Cool. So what I wanted to share here is that the lines. Look at how this thing is very structured. This is very sharp corners and all of that thing. But when I'm starting to animate this, I'm turning those straight lines, those sharp corners. I turn those straight lines into curvy lines to make this feeling of bounciness, and this allows this feeling of squash and stretch in the animations. Bam, bam, bam. Cool. Let's go. Animate that. And what I have to do right now is to use trace on top of this rough pass. So I'm going to grab the handle of this air fryer, and I can go frame by frame and animate this, or I can select the key poses. I can select the key poses, mark frame red, and then let Toon Boom in between the middle, and let's see if Toon Boom will do a good job out of this. Boom, 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 boom. Let me put some rock and roll. I'm sleeping with this music, dude. Dude, okay. I have clothes on my. I'm doing laundry, so I think you can still hear me while I talk. So I'm going to just say shit while I go and pick my clothes. And is that yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Dude, it's wet. Okay, it was faster than I imagined. Welcome to London. Let me change some music so I can animate in beast mode. Rock. Where's my playlist? If someday something happens to that playlist, someday, dude, that'll be a catastrophe. That'll be a challenge of life if something happens to that playlist. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty. In my own words, no. The animal I have become. Let's continue. Advertencia, la tapa de la tasa de bits. What the heck is that? Duración media de resolución. 23 views, that's good, huh? Cadencia del canal 1, usuarios simultáneos 1. What the heck? I'm revealing my statistics with you, my statistics. 4 likes. That's a lot right now. Alright. I love my 4 followers who put those 4 likes. And I will always remember you. Usuarios simultaneous. Oh, simultaneous people in the recording too. So at some point there were 2 people watching this. So what if you can see? Boom, let's go. Let's finish animating this dude. It's not the real man. And then move this here. Then move this here. So many times I lied. Boom. ¿De qué me perdí, caramba? No te puedes perder la novela, mi Roti. So, esto es lo que he hecho, Roto. Mira, ya te enseño. Estoy ahorita animando el pene de este robot. While listening to hard rock. So, look at what we have, Roto. We have the arms. Boom, 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 pa, 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 pa. Boom! The package is going to go crazy here, dude. So, let's animate that thing there. What the heck is happening? Look at that little thing there bothering my life. There you go. So that's what I've been doing so far, Mr. George. I can't control myself. And then blam, placata. It's like when you do these jokes, like it's growing because it's getting angry. Boom. Now look at this. We have a little slow out, no, anticipation. This thing is going up, so I have to copy and paste this frame here and moving this up a little bit. Oye, está bonito. We move this thing a little bit up, and then we go boom, bam. But we need a slow out here, so I am opening this. Set is for multiple parameters. The left side is the slow out, so it's 2 moments telling me on the left-hand ratio, Henry, on this frame that you're standing on right now, how strong do you want the slow out to be? And I'm like, dude, I want this to be super strong, so give me a 77. Amazing, Henry. Now on the next frame, how strong do you want the slow in to be? I don't even remember, Toon Boom. Let me look at this. Oof, super strong. Give me like a 99, dude. And Toon Boom is going to be like, yeah, for sure. Boom! And it's going to get closer to here, sorry, the slow out. Boom! It's going to get closer to what I have here. See? So now I'm going to break the in-betweens. Okay, this was my key. let me select this stuff. Boomba, Tuki. So what if you can see the darkest side of me? Scotty doesn't know. Oh, Scotty doesn't know. Oh. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. So I have the exposure here of this stuff, so I can just trace tuki. There you go. I'm translating what I did on my rough pass here to my rig. So Scotty doesn't know. So look at that. Now I have to inflate these parts of the lower power mode. Let's finish this fast. I'm also hungry. Boop, Henry. I can't believe you're so trusted. Bam. Tuki. Nothing. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Boom. Boom. It's also lower in this upper part. I'm looking at the spacing of all of these sides. Up, down a little bit, boom, and then we go down more. Boom. Tracing, just tracing on top of this rough path. This is what I have to put myself in an NPC mode and just follow what I did here. And then move this way. Then move this way, move this way. Boom, boom, boom. This is something that I always like to say. Like, the rig is your bitch. Like, your rig will not determine the quality of your rig will not determine the level of animation that you have, but will be your animation, your drawing skills itself that is going to get you to that level. So your rig, if it's super simple, have to follow whatever you say. That's why I say that. Oop, Cool. So we have like, bam, boom, up. And it's overshooting up. So I'm going to copy and paste this at the higher position here. Okay. Opa, no, 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 no. Almost. Oof, I almost screwed the entire animation, dude. And then I'll grab this, and I'll work inside of this only. Boom, boom. Boom. And now I'm going to slow in here, and then a slow out here. 44. And now I'm going to go manually. No, you know what? I'm going to go manually and trace on top of the rough pass because I already have everything there. Bam. Boom. Cool. Awesome. Now. Cool, it's working. Boom, 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 boom. Let me disable the rough pass so we can take a look at this animation only. Boom, 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 boom. Now I need to settle this stuff here. It's just clack, staying there. Boop, boop, boop. It's like clack, stays there. Look at this rig, dude. Look at this is how the rig looks like, and this is how much I push this dude on my animations. Like the rig is that, but this is the level of posing that you can get by doing draw overs on top, by actually learning how to draw and animate. This is the level of how much you can push a rig. Look at this. Look at I started working with this pose over here, this front view, and then I converted this into this stuff over here by doing draw overs on top. Cool. That's the secret. So here I can settle. Boom. Beautiful. Now, bam, 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 bam. For example, here the eyelids are staying stuck. So I can fix that. Maybe I can overshoot this, like going down and then going up. Hey, there you go. And I can slow in here. Okay. Better, dude. And now I'm going to the other one. And cutting this, comparing to what I did here. Even I can open this thing to see how much I put of amount of a slow in I put here. Why cannot see this shit? Oh, I didn't animate it. Cool. Boom. Oh no, we're going up. So here we're going down. I seriously have to work on my brain. Boom. Boom. Good. Good. this chainsaw, I don't like how it just ends there, so I'm going to grab that arm and add some more overlapping action. It's like this. Oopa, what the heck is happening here? It's like this um, gumball scene animated by by James Baxter that I love, and it's that this gumball classic animation parody. They are bouncing, overlapping, and going around and around. Because I think that overlappingness in in the movement, it helps to make the character feel alive. Like it's even like sometimes breathing. Like it's not just frozen there. So I'm going to add more overlapping here in the arm because I don't want it to feel like just stuck there. And you know what? The other day I was watching a clip of Foster Mansion for Imaginary Friends. I think is the name in Spanish. And this interviewer was talking with Cheese. I think is the name of the character in English. In Spanish was Queso. And I was looking at that animation, and when I was looking at that animation, it's like, dude, that animation. Thank you, Papu. Thank you, Roti. So, what I was mentioning is that when I was looking at that animation, I feel good because I was like, oh, you know what? First of all, I used to love that show when I was a kid, and second of all, it's like I was looking at that animation and I'm like, oh, dude, I can actually animate that, and I can even animate more complex stuff compared to that scene. So if I can animate that simple scene of that show, if I can achieve the same level of animation of that show and that scene, that means that I can, if I compound effect what one scene, the possibility of doing one scene, this means like I am able to create a show like that. Absolutely, if I can animate one scene of that show, absolutely I can create an entire show like that. And having those discoveries is really fun because it gives you this feeling of being enthusiastic about doing cool stuff. Wait, so chainsaw here. So boom, 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 boom. Now all the arms are moving here. I don't need them to move. Well, before I screw up this, these two over here, I don't want this to move at the top. Zoom, 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 zoom. Boom. What the heck I was going to do? Okay, yeah, that chainsaw. So I'm going inside of the chainsaw and it's going up. I want to settle that movement up first. So I'm going to grab something around here. I'm going to grab this settle over here. I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to get rid of these frames, move it over here, tuki tuki. Get out of here, boom. And then move this here. So the arm feels like it's moving, like a video game when it's in the start menu, like it's doing this. I'm going to do the same thing here, so it actually feels alive. So I'm looping this. Awesome, and then I'm going to grab and I'm going to cut all of these on twos. Tuki, 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 tuki. Or I can grab all of this and go here. Boop, boop. And select this thing. Cut. Beautiful. Awesome. Now, like the camera. Boom. Cool. 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 Okay, now here, this thing, I need to extend this. Gone. Boom. Let's see if that didn't affect it too much, all the stuff. No, not at all. Cool. Now here I want to do something with this arm. And what I want to do, because I'm going to animate this thing going like, I want this to be like, something like that. It's like, me tengo que retirar por el momento, estimado Roto, estimado Mr. Jorge, estimado tío George. Nos despedimos en este momento. Siempre es un dolor despedirme de ti. Y pues nos vemos en la siguiente. Y muchas gracias por participar en este primer stream. Un hermoso momento, sin duda, estimado. Sin duda ha sido un espectacular momento que nunca olvidaré. Capo mi Roto, siempre. Gracias a mi Roto también. Y nada, con todo. Bello. Let's continue here. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. And then we're going up. Look at this. We're going like all of this movement up. It's going down. And here, instead of going up, well, it's going to go up, but it's going to have a different timing. It's going to be like ta 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 ta. So 77. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Peace out, dude. Oh no. A song, a sad song appeared on my playlist. Wait. Wake. Before. So I'm going to cut all of these on twos, and this is the trick that I'm going to do here. Oopsie. I'm going to cut all of these on twos, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut all of that on two, put all of this on ones again, and here in the middle, I'm going to move all of these down a little bit, so it's going to be like tac, 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 tac. And get a dress. Boom. 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 It's a chirurgical procedure here. Breaks loose. Get out of here, Siri. I didn't call you. There you go. But I don't like it because it's going up and down. So what I'm going to do is create an arc before cutting all of this on two. So let's go back. And here, of course, we have a punchy movement up. I'm going to put here a 88. And then good. And then here in the middle, instead of just going up and down, I'm going to move this a little bit towards the side to keep, so it's creating an arc. Haha, beautiful, dude. And then I'm going to cut all of this on twos, and then go back again, everything on ones. And then I'm going to go here in the middle and start adding little movements down. As a song that keeps us warm. Boom. And you can laugh. Boom. Boom. Good. Your rules and wisdom choke and now we want in everlasting peace. We hope. It's giving me a fucking tangent with the other arm. So let's go normal with this. We hope that you choke. So let's see. Vroom, vroom. Cool. That you choke. And then I can grab a little movement here, paste it here, and I will create a little movement here for the arm. And then I'll boop, copy and paste this here. Awesome. A slow in there. Cool. I will survive. And then I'm going to cut all of this. Let me put a slow in, the slow out, and all of this stuff. 0, 0. How long is this recording? 22. How long has been this recording so far? 1 hour and 42 minutes, not bad. I need to finish this scene, dude. Now I'm going to grab all of this and cut all of this on twos. Good. Awesome. Now I will not die. Now this arm is also moving with no sense. Come on. Don't die. Stay there. In my time of dying. Boom, beautiful. I'm polishing here right now the animation, making sure everything is working properly and there's no weird stuff happening around. Boom, bam. Boom, bam. Now, let's animate the chainsaw. How are we going to do this? So I have no idea, to be honest. I hope something that I'm going to do is going to work. Which the idea is that, because I've never done this, but the idea is that I'm going to create an animation on this layer, and hopefully is going to not be affected by all the deformers and the stuff that I did there. So let's see how we troubleshoot that. One thing that I'm going to do is go into the drawing mode, so this part is not affected by the animation, and I can start changing some stuff here. So, get out of here. Now, 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 now. No, 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 no. How is that I design this stuff? Cool, no idea. I'm going to in between this, hopefully, and that will look like the thing that I'm imagining. If not, I'll try another thing. This is a cool thing about working on a short film, is that on a short film, you don't think about the scene that you're going to animate. You think about the overall story and all the crazy stuff that you want to see on the screen. And as a consequence, when you're animating all of this stuff, then you come up with a scene that you've never imagined that you have to animate. Like, for example, I have animated for this short film a chihuahua peeing on a robot. I have animated a dude bouncing back to a building on fire. I have animated a woman with the boobs out. I have animated right now a chainsaw doing crazy stuff. And it's like, dude, if I were putting all my time into just practicing animation scenes for the sake of practicing animation scenes, I will never expose myself into this amount of random situations that I am exposing myself here in this short film. So that's a cool thing about working in short films, because you will have to animate the stuff that you will never imagine animating. Because why would you animate that, right? So here what I can add also is no, don't move. Ah. Cool. I hope that works. And then I can copy this here. Let's go to drawing mode. So we have this thing. Yeah, my eyes. And to create some asymmetry here, what I can asymmetry on the drawings or in the way that we see this stuff, is that I can create a frame here, totally different, which is going to be something like this. I'm going to unify some of this into this type of a smear frame. Yeah, something like that. And I can also add maybe some stuff like this. And maybe sharp. Yeah, these corners should be sharp. Okay. Yeah, those corners should be sharp. Today my voice is not working for high notes, sorry. Bam. Cool, there you go, we have that part there. So now I only have to, no, la concha tu madre. I draw on top of my keyframe. Okay, I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to press Command C until I have my original drawing here. So yeah, those things happen. Okay, now this is the breakdown. This is the keyframe. New frame. Paste, beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to move this here, and then I'm going to copy and paste all the way here, and I hope it's going to work. No, it's not fucking working. What the fuck is happening there? And also flipping is also flipping on the right in the wrong direction. Yeah, I think I can grab the animate off mode and move this back so it is always backwards. No. Every time that I create a new drawing, the front part disappears. That's the shit. So I just have to copy and paste it. Okay. I remember how I write this stuff. Beautiful. Yeah, almost there. So I only need this to go around on the opposite direction. Oh no, yeah, it's going in the right direction. The arm is not doing the feeling. It's not having the feeling that I want. But I'll spend more time on that later. Okay, I need to fix some stuff. For example, this line should go towards the inside. Beautiful. Good. Yeah, it's good. Now something that I want to change is that thing that I added here. So I'm going to get rid of these frames. I no longer like this idea. So in order to avoid touching the drawings that I added, I'm going to change into this mode where I'm going to only select the pegs. That will allow me to move only the pegs. Cool. Yeah, now it's working. It was only that frame. I don't know. Here is also a spacing issue. Here, this too. So this could easily be a slow out. Oop, oh no. Let's fix this stuff. So I need to get rid of all of these frames. This is how I fix animations when I need to do some retakes. And I just go inside and I delete frames and I polish the keys, and then I work on everything trying to make sense. So I'm going to move this into an 89. Cool. Looking like a zombie, would you even want me, want me, want me? Boom, and I'll put like a 33. Zoom. I want the slow out here. Vroom, 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 vroom. And then I can break all of these into twos. Awesome. Boom, 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 boom. Cool, let's animate the other. So same thing, I'm going inside of this. No, 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 no. Poopa. There you go, I'm going here inside. Drawing mode, and same thing. Looking like a zombie. Would you even want me? Want me? Want me? Yeah. Would you even want me? Looking like a zombie. Would you even want me? Want me? Want me? Boom, beautiful. And then I have to get rid of these overlapping lines. I'm working so fast because I need to pee so bad. Boom, boom. Awesome. And then like this, and then going to color. No, I'm in color. Let's go to line art, and then I'm going to transfer the properties from the line art to the color art. I'm going to color pick this. Now paint here. Now I'm going to the line art, and I'm going to add some speed lines here. It's going this way. Cool. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom. On the other one I added 3 frames, and this one I am adding a loop of 2 frames only to see if this is going to work. If not, I will add another one. Let's go to the camera view. Esa verga. Ay, la concha de tu madre. Cool, so I only need to copy this shit. I hope so. And same thing with this other part here. Cool. What the heck is happening with that shit, dude? Oh, the deformers, la concha de tu madre. So I'm going inside of this deformer, and then I'm going to nodes. This is why I always create deformation chains, because I can only just copy and paste the deformers from here to here, and that's it. Same here, inside of here, boop, nodes, duplicate selected nodes. Then I'm going to and I'm going to copy this here. Awesome, beautiful. And then I'll just beautiful. Tell me I wanna see you alive. Yeah, so I want to add some motion in the body right now. So before screwing up everything, I'm going to create another peg, and I'm going to add those extra motion in this peg. So what we have, boom, this arm goes out first, so the body will be pulled to the right that way, boom, and then we're going towards the left because of this movement here, like copy, copy, paste, copy and paste. There you go. Boom, boom, bam. There you go. Bam, bam, bam. Now we go to the right again because of this arm. Boom. And then we go to the left again because of this one over here. Boom. And then we go to the normal position. Well, I'm going to push this a little bit more that way. So we go back to the normal position. And then I can in between of this and we have boom, 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 boom. But we need that to make it we need to make that very punchy. So it's going to jump from here, boom, to here when the arm goes up. Then we're going to having a strong slow out here. And then boom, we are jumping there. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. And then we go. And here we are adding a strong slow out too. There you go. This is too much. Yeah, too much. I think it shouldn't be like a continuous movement, but instead should hold there and then just have a little push one frame before. Tuki. And then boom. This is going to hold it. Bam, bam. There you go. Beautiful. Bien. Cool. Beautiful. And adding these movements allow me to connect the motion of the arms with the body so everything feels integrated, and also it helped me create this rounded movement on the character. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful. It feels more punchy. And this is in these little subtleties, in these little details that I can fix all of this. Is my camera frozen? Oh no, la concha tu madre. Okay, I think my camera is frozen. But well, that's the end of the video. That's the end of the animation, actually. We achieved the goal. Cool. So hope you like this video. Hope you learned something from this, and thank you very much for joining and participating in this streaming. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you next time. I think you can see me. Hope you can see me. I need to pee. I need to eat. I need to get out of here. So see you later, guys. Bye. How I stop this stuff? Stop streaming.